point of no return. The gang of 4, or as Gibbs tells us, the gang of 7, conspired to have Nurse Letby unfairly removed from her duties, and thence exiled to the island of lost souls, as Jayaram termed it. Nurse Letby fought back via a grievance process, which was fully upheld. The gang of bullying narcissists were ordered to apologise, at risk of being reported to the GMC if they refused. A line was drawn by Tony Chambers, and the gang were instructed not to cross it. This filled the gang with narcissistic rage, and they fully intended to escalate by any means necessary. What drove them was not concern for the babies who had died. They exhibited not a shred of accountability for their own failures and the failure of the unit as a whole. Indeed, some gang members knew they were directly implicated in some of the deaths. Only the overwhelming desire for revenge against Nurse Letby drove them on. When Cheshire Police initially refused to investigate, citing no evidence of a crime, the gang would not take no for an answer. Jayaram, accompanied by Breary and Holt, initiated a further meeting with the police, at which Jayaram lied regarding baby K. He failed to tell them that Nurse Letby had called him into the nursery in respect of this child, something he had conveyed in writing to the other gang members only weeks before. He told the police the very opposite, and would later elaborate in interviews that he had gone into the nursery on a hunch, noting the exact time based on a hysterical presentiment of the potential harm that Nurse Letby may inflict. This blatant lie, which Jayaram necessarily repeated at every formal police interview thereafter, and repeated in every statement given, was evident to Breary and Holt at that meeting in 2017, in May, and certainly was conveyed to the other gang members in due course. Assuming they had not already been aware of the grand plan to nail their perceived enemy, the plan to pique the police's interest, again, by any means necessary. This Rubicon was, therefore, knowingly crossed by all gang members who had received Jayaram's email only weeks prior to the May 2017 meeting. An email which stated what had actually happened in respect of baby K. All gang members thereby knowingly signed up to the lie. This lie constitutes a perversion of the course of justice by Jayaram, in which all gang members are fully complicit. Jayaram then went on to commit perjury at 2 trials. The silence of the other gang members in this respect is proof of their ongoing complicity. They are indeed all guilty of perverting the course of justice. Once the gang had crossed this far more serious line back in May 2017, they were bound to the lie and bound to each other in this dark and dishonest pact. Without this lie, there would have been no police investigation, no monstrous appearance by the sociopathic fraud Evans, no charges, no court case, no convictions, no miscarriage of justice, no destruction of an innocent life, no destruction of the good name of Nurse Letby, no abuse and manipulation of the parents who had lost children. Once embarked on this dishonest course, this malignant train of events, the gang believed they had to see it out until the bitter end, until Nurse Letby was convicted, providing the right kind of expert came along for the right kind of case, or one such could be arranged. For to do anything less would be to acknowledge they had perverted the course of justice back in May 2017 and evermore thereafter, which would surely mean an end to their professional careers and might even result in a criminal charge against them all. None of them had the character or decency to turn back, to speak out, to relent. Once the necessary lie was told, then agreed upon, and once the police investigation was initiated, the stakes were at an ultimate high for this gang of dishonest, bullying, cowardly degenerates. Not one of them believed they could halt the train their agreed falsehood had set in motion.